Hey beautiful people, Sarah Voronov here, sharing with you my breathwork practitioner training experience. It is session 27 today. Wow, there's just so much that has happened. So again, with life, you notice what is happening, what's surfacing, and it's really interesting. In breathwork practitioner training, you get told that you will see with time that intention plus breath work equals outcome, equals your reality. And earlier in the week, I had looked back at some of my intentions. I think I was trying to track something, like if I'd breathed on something before, and I came across an intention that was around wanting to be able to share in safe spaces where I feel like heard and I'm grounded. And I forget the exact wording that I had, but when I read that, I was like, whoa, that's happening. I am surrounded by these beautiful women that I feel so held by, and I can share the truth of my experience. I think that was my intention. I get to share the truth of my experience, and I have that in a few areas now, and it's so interesting and beautiful at the same time that I've created it. It is a reality, and it feels so good. And now I'm like, there are so many other intentions that I've breathed on, and I can see areas of my life where things are changing, and it is a different reality. Like, things are still, some of them are still in progress, but there is movement. Yeah. So I wanted to share that with you, that your intentions create your life, and all you need to do is set an intention, breathe with it, see and consciously see how your life is changed and how you're co-creating your life. What else happened this week was I've had big touchstone moments where, again, the theme of like I've felt lost at times, but I found my clarity and I found support. Because I'm also a kinesiologist and I'm doing a few extra kinesiology units at the moment. I had an experience with, I was in clinic with a client, and a new mode that I hadn't worked with that much. Like, I just had learnt it and I was using it, tested up for the client. And I was unsure whether I had done it properly or supported. Like, anyway, like the emotion cleared. My client felt like they were in a beautiful space and felt held. I was just wanting to check a few things, and I reached out to my teacher, and she echoed back, yeah, there was just like maybe a couple of things I could have, or like one thing actually, that I could have tweaked a little bit, but other than that, it was good. And that was a pivotal moment for me in my journey, because I felt lost, and I didn't spiral. It was like, oh, I feel lost, and that's okay. And I figured it out. And then I reached out for help, and I was received in reaching out for that support. All these things that I've been working on, and it felt super easy. It didn't feel like a hard thing or really arduous. It just felt like completely easy. So I'm celebrating those wins. I also had noticed some things I've been activated around with my kids. Oh, that's right. My last breathe was around money. So since then, I had this beautiful kinesiology session as well, which was about, what came up? It was spiritual bondage, yeah. And it was essentially seeing like these straps that I had around my body representing different areas around money where I felt like I was trapped, and feeling like the willingness around that. So yeah, I cleared all of that, and I was like, yeah, I'm like in this millionaire mindset, this frequency, this energy, because I'm a millionaire, and it's so easy to create, generate and receive millions of Australian dollars. That was part of my intention. I was like, oh, and I'm saying it now, and it feels true and it feels good. But I had an incident yesterday with my, excuse me, burped, with my eldest son, if any of you have kids, you know that they always want to ask for things. And we'd gone out, we had food, plus we went to Time Zone, which is this arcade space, and then he wanted something else, and I was like feeling angry, and I was like, oh, why do I feel angry about this? You know, I was trying to figure out, is this my stuff, or is this, you know, why am I feeling activated? And I was just kind of navigating that space of allowing my son to have his feelings, me also figuring out my feelings at the same time, and going, because I was in indecision, I was undecided on whether I was going to buy this thing, or should I like change, can I hold the space for him? Anyway, that was interesting to navigate. And then also, I'm teaching this thing called neurovasculars. They're points on the body that help to release emotional energy and help to soothe your nervous system. And so I'm teaching that this week in a program called Neurovascular Reset. And some of the people in my breathwork class, I invited them if they wanted to be a part of it.
Mommy.
Yeah, I'm just recording, sweetheart. Oh, I see. Yeah. He's excited, wanted to show me. I got him this protein ball with some sprinkles. We don't normally eat that, so he was excited about it, wanted to show me. What was I saying? Oh, that's right. So I've invited some of these beautiful women that I've been doing breath work with into this neurovascular reset thing week that I'm teaching on. And then I thought, like, this was like just before I was opening my laptop to start my breathwork class. I was like, oh, what have I done? What have I co-created? Because in breathwork, it is very messy, and you're like you're sharing all your stuff and your insecurities and vulnerabilities. And I feel so safe with these people that I breathe with. But I was like, that's one space. And then the other space where I'm teaching, I'm like, it's a different role where I'm like holding space. And I thought, oh, I realized, I was like, I co-created that because I had been feeling like this is something that's been surfacing for the last few weeks, where I felt like, you know, you can only be of service, hold space, if you have your shit like 100%, you're perfect, which isn't true. And so I was like, okay, I've done this because these people also feel safe with, it's like, I can show up, I can be like messy, vulnerable, crying, and I can also be professional and hold space and teach. They can both exist with each other. You don't have to be only this or only this. And I was like, you get to be both, which is so freeing, because anyone really that we admire, whether we've read someone's book or we see them on stage or they're a teacher, everyone has their own stuff, and everyone's got both. They're toggling between both and holding, like, where they are able to hold space and teach and do stuff. And then also they have their own personal problems that they move through. So everybody, every single person on the planet Earth has got both in existence. And I think I'm just now going like, and I can be one of them. I don't have to have everything done. I can be both. Anyway, so, and I'm coming to my breathwork sessions. So before I was becoming really prepared, but now I'm coming to my breathwork sessions feeling like I can just share what is true for me in the moment and figure it out. And one of the facilitators that was holding the space, I realized that in a lot of the time she's held space, she doesn't have a back and forth. Or, no, she does have a back and forth. She wasn't like, some of the other facilitators I've noticed will help you sort of create an intention or write it out or kind of reflect back. And she's always been really good at just being like, you have that freedom, like what's kind of surfacing. And so that's why I had felt previously, I need to come prepared. I need to write all my stuff out and then breathe. So like, you know, because she won't do that. And really, and this is all my stuff, it's not her, it's all my material. It was also getting me in touch with being a kid and feeling like my mum wasn't able to support me in the way that I wanted, and I had to support myself. And and then feeling like my facilitator was like that, I think unconsciously. But now it's like, of course, she's actually supporting me completely. So I think I rambled on like I am right now about what was happening, and I started to have an intention of like, okay, what am I wanting? How would I prefer things to be? What's happening in my body? And I said it was something to do with wanting to feel okay in the indecision of my choices, because that was the sense that I was getting. I'm like, oh, I'm in indecision. What do I want? How can I find clarity? And so I wrote this big intention, and also it was like, I had it simple, and then my facilitator said, oh, like, yeah, you always have like big intentions. You can juice it up. You can add anything you want. And I was like, oh yeah, I do. Okay. Yeah, I can add everything in. But then there was something in me that was like, do I want to have a big intention? Do I want to have everything in there? I know that's what I have been, but do I still want it? And so I'm not even going to read it out, but I had like a bigger one sort of all together. And then right before, like, so in online breathwork, we have 2 groups. And then we came back together for the one group to actually breathe. And as we were waiting for the other group to arrive to breathe, I started journaling a bit, and I was like, what is it about, I was asking myself, what do I truly want? What do I truly, truly want? Underneath it all, like whether it's a big intention, small, what is it? Because it wasn't quite feeling settled. And I want to be myself. I was like, oh yes, this is the thing that I talk about all the time. Like remembering the truth of who you are on the inside, not the stories that you've been told on the outside. And so I was like, that's what I want for myself. That's what I want for everyone else on planet Earth. And so it only made sense that my intention was that I changed in that moment. I was like, let me read it. It was, I intend to be myself, fully, easily, 100%. And I was thinking, yeah, what is this going to bring me? It's going to bring me everything. It's going to bring me the money, the abundance, the support, the ease, thriving business, everything by being myself. And then in my breathe, like, and I felt so smiley and expansive in my breathe. I was like, oh, because like it's everything and nothing all at the same time. Like I saw in my breathe, I could see how I get to be both. Whereas before I felt like maybe perhaps I could only be one way. I can be angry and I can be happy. I can have clarity and I can be a rambling mess. I can, have clarity and be decisive, and other times I can't. Like I don't have to be, or be really productive and do a bunch of stuff, and other times rest and relax and move really slow at a slower pace. And I could just say like, oh, I get to be everything. I don't have to just be one thing. And like the essence of who I am cannot be distilled into a single word, into a sound. I am everything. We're all everything. I could see it also. Oh, my eyes are itchy right now. I could see myself going through this process where actually I was like asking myself, like, who is the self, really? If I can be myself, what is the self? Myself is not my body. Myself is not the stories. Then what is the self? And then I was like tracking everything back, and I was like, because, atoms, like, I'm not a physical thing, but, atoms, it's kind of like what Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about. That when you look at it, it's like there's nothing there. There's something but nothing in the atoms. When you put them apart, it's just actually just energy. Everything's energy. Everything's in the field. And yeah, I saw myself in the field. I was like, we're we're energy, we're nothing but something. If you look so close, it's like, oh, there's some energy, there's something, but then you go apart, there's also nothing. And I don't know if I'm making sense, but it's like nothing, we're nothing and something at the same time. And I saw that actually we're just these little specks creating the field. Creating the field. We are the field of energy, of existence. And I can't affect any other particles. Like, I don't have control of how they move. I just saw it as like all these dots kind of suspended, and all I can do is control or have influence over this particular dot, this particular frequency, this energy that's invisibleness. I can either move it up, down, move it aside, like, and that's how I can affect the field of existence through myself. And it was so like the question where I landed on at the end of my breathe was, how do I want to affect the field? How do I want to be? I'm going to track back a little bit, because also I saw it like in receiving, when we all want stuff. We all want stuff. And it's like, it's all available, it's all here, and we just have to open ourselves up to receiving it. And then sometimes if we may feel like, I know that I have, it's like, oh, how can I hold it? Or do I have enough capacity? And it's like, you just have to let it in, just like this tube. It just comes in and goes out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And it's like the belief of, how much can I, if you feel like, oh no, I can't receive much, then the tube kind of reduces, and it doesn't stop, but it's just like, there's not as much space for you to receive. And then if we can go, well, I am able to receive, I can get everything, because we're energy. Yes, darling. I'm almost finished, just a few more minutes, okay?
You're gonna wait out here.
Okay. I have been talking for a while. So, yeah, we're just this beautiful energy, and we're moving around, and I'm so blissed out and excited to see where all this lands, because I can just see that everything that I've been wanting is just about being able to be myself. Hold on, Bodhi, I'm almost finished, okay? It's just about being myself and being all of me, and that's how everything gets received and gravitates towards. Yes, this is rambly, maybe a little incoherent in spaces, but I'm showing up as all of me. And if you have any questions, if you have about breathwork, RBM, breathwork, or my experience, Bodhi, don't move that, please. Let me know. Okay, bye.